will to be done in our lives. My name is Sherry LaVon Harris, and I'm the host of His Will for Your Life podcast. This podcast is a safe and non-evasive place for others to be authentically themselves, unashamed, while receiving the healing, deliverance, and balance they need to become whole and effective servants in the kingdom. Now join us for our live broadcast. Greetings and welcome to another episode of His Will for Your Life. I'm your host, Sherry LaVon Harris, and I don't know what we're in for tonight, to be honest with you. We have an unscripted conversation with two individuals I've known for over 40 years, and we're going to have an unscripted conversation. And the topic, as you know, in our series is We Listen and We Don't Judge. Please stay tuned, like, tag, and share, and we'll be right back.
His Will for Your Life with Sherry Harris. This is your weekly Wednesday 7 p.m. podcast. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Informative, hot topic, testimony, interviews, along with your weekly guests and more. And now here's your host, Sherry Harris.
Welcome back to His Will for Your Life again. I am your host, Sherry LaVon Harris, and I have with me Yvette and Lawana, and I'm going to give them an opportunity to share with you who they are and what they do. Yvette?
I'm Yvette, and I am blessed and highly favored.
Oh, gosh.
My name is Lawana, and I love the Lord. My name is Lawana, and I love the Lord. Back at you, Sherry.
Oh, gosh. Why did I let y'all convince me to interview y'all tonight? Okay. So why did you guys want to be on the show? Specifically.
Why do I want to be on the show?
Huh?
Well, I want to be on the show because there's nothing that I would rather do than support you and act a fool doing it.
And plus, there's so much to talk, and we haven't seen each other in a long time. And I know that we're vibing in a way.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, she's frozen.
You're frozen.
How about now?
You may have to move around a little bit.
She's fine now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. It gives us a time to express what's going on, mind, body, and spirit, and how that can connect not only with ourselves, but with others. And I'm ready to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we listen and we don't judge. And even though this is a candid conversation about nothing, we're just going to randomly speak on as y'all leads us, right? And we're just going to have some dialogue, and hopefully it will be a blessing to those who watch now or watch later. Okay.
Amen.
So, Sherry, do you want to open up in prayer?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to open in prayer?
I've already prayed. You want to pray?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
All minds clear. Father God, we come before you today. We say thank you. We thank you for another opportunity to bring friends together, Lord God, from near and far, Lord God. Lord God, we ask that you allow us to just have fun, Lord God. We are reminded, Lord God, that laughter is good for the soul. We just ask that anyone that is watching and who will watch it now or later, that they will find a little bit of humor in it all and understand that God does have a sense of humor. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
So we're gonna
go ahead, Sherry.
You live in a bad neighborhood, huh? We ain't gonna judge.
I was the ambulance. So
The ambulance.
I don't live in a bad neighborhood.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what possessed me to have you two on, but no, seriously. We're just going to take a stroll down memory lane and we're going to come up to today.
Okay.
All right. So we're just going to start off just candid conversation. What's a memorable experience you've had that shaped your life today, that molded you into who you are now?
I would say memorable that molded my life. I think I would have to say that it was actually being a volunteer at Mount Sinai.
Okay.
Being a volunteer at the hospital, living in the Blue Hills area, being a candy striper, wearing a little red and white stripe outfit. And they used to, I really used to go there because they used to give you the little coupons. So while you're on shift, and you get 3 if you work 8 hours, you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. But essentially, it was being able to volunteer at the hospital, and at a young age. I mean, you could do it at 13, and doing that, it really shaped. Now that I think about it in my adult years, like where did it all begin? Just my call to service. That's where it started. That's where it started.
Let's see. I want to take us back to ministry. Being active in the church at an early age, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the ministers in my life. One in particular, Mamie Simmons. She's Tara's mother. I met her when I was going to Fox Middle School, and being a friend of her daughter, she invited me to church. She would take me to school sometimes when we didn't walk, but she invited me to church. And at that time, I think we were about the age of 12 and 13. And that invitation just took me so far. It got me involved in the ministry as far as singing, as far as ministering to people, because at that time, you don't think you're ministering to people. You think you're just singing. You love to sing. So I'm grateful for the people in my lives, especially her, Mamie Simmons, who invited me to church, and a lot of people who are listening out there, and you have a great church that you're involved, that you go to and you're involved with, and you have children who have friends in their please take the time and invite them to church, get permission from their parents and invite them to church, because you just don't know down the road what it's going to do and how it's going to affect them for the good in their lives. It allowed me to open up and to minister throughout my life. And you don't even know you're ministering as a teenager. You know, silly as I am, you don't know your ministry, but it allows you to interact with people and just share the word of God with them throughout your life, however it may be. But it affects you long term, where you work, whatever you do. You can bring that into focus and touch the lives of many.
Can any of you share a time when you took a leap of faith and what was the outcome?
Sorry, Sherry, and took the leap of faith and what?
and did whatever it was.
What I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, yes. Can you share a time when you took a leap of faith and what was the outcome?
Ooh. Yvonne, you can go first. Go right ahead.
Of course I can. Leap of faith. I think one of the biggest leaps of faith that I did was, this is over my life, was taking care of my mother single-handedly and doing it knowing that I couldn't do it by myself. And it wasn't that kind of faith that, oh, you might have people around you, but once you're in it, you're in it. And I just jumped out there and was like, look, if nobody's going to do it like me, not a nurse, not a CNA. And I was like, you know what? I got this. And I'm like, Lord, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help. And I just dived in the knowledge that came, the fact that I was able to connect the dots and kind of take myself out of daughter mode and go into caregiver mode. And then I went into advocate mode. And then I went into legal mode. And then I went into fight mode. You know, all of those different hats required that I did that in faith, because I literally had to separate myself and become different people depending on the circumstance. And that was like the biggest challenge of my entire life to this date.
And what did you learn from that experience?
What I learned is that you never know what you know. True. You never know what you know until you are in a situation. You know, for those people who may say, well, there's no way I can do this and I can't do that and I can't do this. You don't know what your capacity is until you feel like you cannot hold anymore.
Right.
And I mean, that means if it's oozing out the edges and is overflowing on the outside of what you are, which is you are the container. It is a revelation. It is a wake-up call. It is a reality check. And until you're actually put in that situation, you do not know what you are capable of until you step out and just challenge yourself to do it.
Right. Whitney Houston says in her song, she never knew her own strength. And sometimes we don't know until we are put to the challenge.
Right.
Absolutely.
They a few years ago, returning back to school, college as an adult learner. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there who feel that, especially if you're in your late 40s or, you know, heading into your 50s or whatever, but that leap of faith to just continue your education, to earn that degree, or just to take some classes. That's a huge leap of faith when you're trying to balance everything in your life. It was a time where it was just, for me, it was work, church, home, work, church, home, work, church, home. And you're trying to balance, you know, your life and your ministry and your job. And then you forget about that little girl in you and what you wanted to do when you grew up. Because you can get into the work world, and sometimes we all, you know, you can get stuck. You get stuck with the, what am I going to do next, or what do I want to do next as far as working? But that's not your lifelong goal. It's not the love of your life. And stop and take that time and figure out how to, you know, you think you just can just go and enroll, but if you have been out of school for a long time and you've just been in the work world, returning to a college and just you know, extending your career, it can be kind of difficult. Because after I graduated high school, it's just like, you know, sometimes you got to say to yourself, you know, I took classes and I did this and I did that, but where is that information? You know, you have to prove that you have those credits. And I went to Springfield College. I think, Sherry, you're a graduate of Springfield College, correct?
I am.
Okay, I went to Springfield College as well, where they were taking the credits that you already had, and they
life experiences, but that was kind of harder because you had to write the papers and then prove that you have that experience. Yeah.
I remember them days, Sherry.
Yeah, and it starts with those 15 or so credits that they require. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I said was, okay, how do I obtain that information? Mm-hmm. And and the school that I went to, was it accredited? Like, oh my God. And thank God that it was, but it gave me a chance to pull back, take that leap of faith, and stop and say, okay, what's best for Lawana right now? What road do you want to go down? It's just, I had to become selfish and put my self-care in front and just head down that journey. And I was happy I did that because it gave me a chance to focus on me, and the human services field with the concentration in youth development. You all know how much I love children. I worked for the West Hartford school system for over 20 years, starting at Charter Oak Elementary, then going to Hall High School afterwards, and spending almost 20 years at Hall High School in the main office in different departments of the school. I think I worked in every department except the cafeteria and the school guidance department. But you saw my big old head all over the place, and to just get to learn, connect, and communicate with the children, and the people I work with. We all became family, and that helped bless my life, and it helped me with it helped me explore and just open up all avenues of my life in whatever direction. It was so many roads that I can go down, but taking that leap of faith and going back to school narrowed everything down for Lawana in the new direction and new journey that I am on, the path that I am on right now. I retired from the school system a couple of years ago, but just because I retired from that, it just gave me an opportunity to jump, to just jump and deep dive into what I want to do now. And that's just helping all in what I'm doing now. Not only do I help the young, I help the old, and that I can't say the old, the experience, the seniors in our life, the ones who have led the way. And I'm glad that I got a chance to learn, to know how to instruct, to learn to help heal, to help guide, and just to be in the lives of people, to help them live, love, and continue on, just being vibrant and just loving life.
That's true. And I'm glad you brought that up about human services, especially at Springfield College. Springfield College is where I found myself. And when I looked during our orientation and I looked at our classes, especially our core classes, I was able to see everyone in there was in human services because they needed it for themselves.
Yeah. There
was a guy in there who was tattooed down, you know what I mean? And, he can be prejudged, right? We listen, but we don't judge. But he was in there to help. And he actually had his own organization, nonprofit organization. He just needed the backing for his education so he can get funded for his programs. But there was one, I'm not sure if you had to take this course, but we had to write a paper from the Circles of Life. First of all, we had to watch Lion King, right? And we're like, Lion King, but we learned so much from it. And then from that story, we had to write our lives from the beginning until our adulthood. And it was like, wow, you came face to face with who you really are and what your purpose in life was.
Yeah. I think of this Eagles song and dear sister, little sister Maya Kelly. She talk about the lyrics of the song. It says pretty much, we live our lives in chains and with the key in our pocket.
Oh,
and
that's deep.
That's deep. We find ourselves so bound up sometimes in life. We can blame so many people and so many others. But when the key is in our when the key is in our pocket, we can unlock ourselves from the chains that have us bound. And it took a lot for me, Sherry, I'm telling you, to just drop everything and everybody and concentrate on me and what's best for me and what's best for my life, and I had to remove myself from the chains that had me bound. And there's so many things in our lives that can bound you, because we put ourselves in the lives of others. We take care of other people better than we take care of ourselves. And then you look around and you find yourself going, okay, what about me? What about me? What about what I want to do? What about what I love? And just, yeah, it's like taking that leap of faith and doing it and putting forth that effort to do it and not feeling guilty, because do you know I felt guilty at one point, just taking care of myself and just, wanting what's best for Lawana and going after it. And it was just like the devil is a liar, it's just like, it's just a distraction, and it's just something to take you away from your focus. And I'm so glad that I focused on me and I continue to push myself and strive. And it's like going and you do that. And Sherry, I don't know about you, but I'm thankful for one of my professors, Professor Campion. I don't know if you had her or not.
What's her name?
Professor Campion.
Yeah.
Especially when we had to do our research, you need that class to pretty much graduate. And I was in a class of graduates and I wasn't even was set to graduate, but we had to do our research on homelessness. And it just
project, in my grad project.
Mm-hmm. And it just pretty much opened up a world that I could never imagine. Some years back when my godson, Yvette's son, got married, I was in Maryland for the first time to see the homeless population. And it devastated me. It really devastated me. And because you here in Connecticut, you can go downtown Hartford and you see a few of our homeless individuals, and you feel so awful, and you say to yourself, what can I do to help? What can I do to be a part and make a difference in their lives? And when we dove deeper in our research, we found out that if you become homeless today or tomorrow, Lord forbid that you're in a fire today and tomorrow, and you leave your home and you jump in your car, if you have a car, where are you going to go? It's a process to everything in life, but where are you going to go? You're not going to go and just show up at a homeless facility and say, I don't have anywhere to go, whether it's the domestic abuse, or like I said, if if your home has been burned down, Lord forbid. Well, you're not going to go to the nearest homeless homeless agency or any church or anywhere that's going to open their door to say, come on in, we'll take you, or we'll give you the necessary things and tools that you need to survive right now or to get you through the next few days. No, that's not going to happen. It's a process. You're going to have to call 211 and go through the process of, I guess just pretty much registering and letting them know that so it devastated me to find out if if you're homeless today or tomorrow for whatever reason, you're just displaced out there. And unless you go through the process, first calling 211, you're not going to have a place to stay. There are not going to be open doors for you to come and to welcome you in and give you a place to stay. And it bothered me, and it just helped me just pretty much dive deep into just finding out what I can do to just make sure people are taken care of if they are in that situation.
Right. I did actually, I interviewed a real homeless person that just come into their own. She allowed me to come into her home. She was really candid and sharing everything, and I was able to share that in my project along with pictures. But anyone whose name is not on a lease or on a mortgage, you are considered homeless.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Every one of us sometimes Yeah, pretty much everybody is a paycheck or two from being homeless.
Yeah.
And we frown upon those who are homeless because we think they're lazy, and that's not the case.
Mm-mm.
When I would go to the shelter and feed these men, I gave them the utmost respect because they already felt a way. But some would come off of a full-time job, suited up, but they were homeless. They were living in a homeless shelter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anybody can be homeless.
And to chime in on that, it goes back to judging.
Yeah.
It goes back to judging. We take into account the pursuit of happiness. This man was homeless, but he was totally employable, very intelligent, and like you said, we're all, it can be one paycheck away. You pay $1 late on rent, you're going to be getting a letter slid in your door.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't pay the rent, how are you going to pay the legal fees to represent yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I work ironically, I work in the social services field as well. So, going into the homes of these people, and they're I have to set up a meeting, and they're coming from 3 or 4 jobs. They got 7 kids running around, and you're trying to figure out how did this happen. Little Johnny is in school acting up, the other child number 5 of 7 is on meds, and child number 2 of 7 is at school throwing a chair at a teacher, or child number 1 of 7 just cut the little girl's hair next to him. So you have to we pile all of that on, and it goes back also to Luana mentioned about taking, you're a caregiver, but you have to take care of yourself.
That's right.
And that can become very, very, very difficult when you have your attention geared towards so many different things. And in turn, imagine being on the homeless end of things, and then having somebody say to, well, you got 3 jobs, how are you homeless? Or why you got so many kids, where their daddies at?
You're right. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. Hold that thought.
Out to G&G Security. G&G Security Group provides customized security solutions and consultations for executive and high net worth clients in the tri-state area. The company specializes in event security management, executive and close protection. Now, they believe that the highest levels of competence, diligence, and integrity are a standard of security industry, and they want to serve you. So go over to gngsecuritygroup.com. Again, that's gngsecuritygroup.com, or on Instagram at GNG Security Group.
Welcome back. We are talking about self-care, and it isn't selfish. Go ahead.
It is not selfish. Look at me. At the age of, I am 55, but at the age of 50, I got braces. I started off with the Invisaligns. I mean, because we look at our smile every day. And if you can't improve on your smile, just don't, we're going into the latter parts of our lives, and it's the best for me. I don't know. I swear to you, when I turned 50, I swear to you, it was just like the most beautiful thing in the world. It's like, thank you, God. It's just like you get a clean slate. But the thing you got to do, you look at yourself every day. How can I improve on myself to better myself? And it's just like, you smile and you go, well, wait a minute. It's like I suck my tongue. I don't suck my thumb. And that's at night. But it like over the years made a gap on the side of my teeth that was big enough to put a chiclet in it. I'm serious.
Oh, Father.
That sucker was ugly. And it was just like, it's that big now. Can you imagine if it was, and I know I'm pretty much, exaggerating that a chiclet can fit up in that sucker. But it looked like it to me at the time. And it was just like, I need braces. And, self-care is the best care. I started off with Invisaligns. And never say that you can't afford it. I can't afford it right now. Because if it looks bad right now at the age of 50, when you get 60, oh boy, you really going to be trying to put your and I'm like,
Father, help us.
so first started off with the Invisalign. So I'm thankful. I have a dentist where I go to out in here in Bloomfield, and I'm thankful for Angie, who's my orthodontist. Well, she's a former student at Hall High School, and I'm just giving her a shout out because she does the work actually. And Dr. Paulo, who he and Angela, they just made me so comfortable. And I started off with my Invisalign, and I was doing really, really well as it straightened my teeth. Let me tell you about those Invisaligns. You have to stay consistent. Consistency is the word. And as they get a little bit tighter, and you're making sure your teeth are clean, you're flossing and everything like that. But as the trays get a little bit tighter, ooh, it hurt. And so it's like at night, especially when you have to change trays and use your new trays, I would always say to myself, ooh, that's gonna hurt. So I'm gonna put them in the morning, but I'm just gonna brush and everything. But long story short, I now wear metal braces because I wasn't as consistent as I should have been. But
Still,
you know what?
Still disobedient.
But what did you say, Sherry?
So you still disobedient.
What you say? What did you say? I can't hear you.
You're still disobedient.
You're still disobedient.
Are you? I mean, because you want to do it your way. I'm going to put them in the morning because they hurt. And it's going to take about 15 minutes for them to, for me to go off to sleep. You're just rocking yourself. You get up and you put your Invisaligns on and they hurt. But the consistency part in that area in all of our lives. But I wasn't consistent. And now I wear the metal braces. But the thing is, on my vision board, I had the metal braces first. I did not have the Invisaligns. I had the metal braces first, and I'm actually enjoying them. And I don't have that much time, more to wear them. But it's just I did not. Like Sherry said, I wasn't consistent with the Invisalign, but I had no other choice. But and God does that to some of us when we're not consistent. I'm gonna give you something that's gonna strap you down where you can pay attention, where you have no other choice but to do what's right. And now I just have to keep my elastics in. So it's a process with everything, but it's just like my self-care in that area, and to better to make sure that my mouth is taken care of. My oral health is number one, and that's all of us. We just don't say, well, if I don't have any teeth, I'll just get them all, I'll get a plate or something like that. No, take care of what you got and just go from there.
Yeah, it is important that we maintain good health.
Mm-hmm.
Above all, he wants us to prosper and be in health. And so it is important that, we live a good life and healthy.
That's right. And getting into the gym, it's hard. It's very, very hard sometimes.
It's very hard.
But please know what you're doing, because these days you can get a membership and they don't want to assist you. They want you to, you can take your camera and scan something and it'll teach you. No. If you can't get a trainer that's going to help you and show you how to correctly do things, please just, invest in that. They don't have to be by your side and hold your hand all the time, but, let them show you how the correct way of doing things. I love to eat. I'm a foodie, and Sherry, them little corn muffins. I would love to have one of those little corn muffins. I wish we could sample this.
They are delicious.
Yes. And Sherry always had the best food, you guys. I don't care what she made in high school. She used to make the turkey and cheese sandwiches. And you know, you say turkey and cheese sandwich, anybody can make. No.
Hilarious.
Sherry made the best turkey and cheese. Everybody begged for her sandwiches. I don't care. You can go home and try to make it, but there's something about Sherry. And like, Sherry, can you make me a sandwich? She looked right up. No, make your own sandwich.
You're hilarious.
But I see the food, and I just, you know, I'm a foodie, and pretty soon I have an adventure on the way. We'll discuss, you know, if I'm invited on again. I'm grateful for a lot of doors that are opening. You know, sometimes in our lives, especially like we talked about the human services field, we think that sometimes it's just, you know, you just dedicated to just kind of what you learn in college or you know, as you grow. But I'm telling you, it prepared me for COVID. Ooh, it prepared me for COVID because COVID hit us all like no other. And the matriarchs in our family, you know, I find myself, me and other people in my family, we have to look after and take care of them. Now, these are the people who cooked for us during Thanksgiving and Christmas and showed us what love and togetherness, and we found ourselves, and I found myself with some of my family members just looking at them and kind of hearing the voice of God saying, now you have to take care of them. And towards the end of the lives of two of my aunts, I was still working, and it was my last couple of years at my job before I retired from that line of work. You know, like I said, not from just working, period, from that line of work. But I had to balance trying to work, take care of my loved ones who were on their deathbeds. Now, you imagine being at work and you got to jump up and take off because, you know, the hospital is calling you. You know, you have your phone number on call and they're contacting you. And it's one of those kind of things. It's like I remember leaving work and at a moment's notice and going to see about my aunt in the hospital. And I said, Lord, you have to make a way for me that I am available at all times and so you got to watch what you pray for and get paid doing it, you know. And it's like, Lord, can you provide that avenue? Because I love what I did. I love being there. There's nothing like taking care of your own family members and making sure that their well-being is the best. And I'm said, Lord, if you can provide an avenue, I'm like, okay, human services. Well, I need to serve my family right now. And how can I benefit and actually even get paid for help serving my family and others who need it? And, you know, I just want to just say that the Lord made a way. It's not easy losing family members, the grief of it all, just because I had to step in and play a role that I never played before in my life. It's like when the matriarchs of your family, when they pass on, and sometimes, you know, your family members, they look towards you. And a long time ago, being a member at First Church, you know, Sherry, when we all came members after high school, and I never forget on some of my partying days and living with my mom, and I would go to church with my mom and my Aunt Josephine, and sometimes, you know, just getting up from, you know, you get up in the morning, I'm seeing them, I go take my shower, I'd have been up all night, and to see my aunt come and say, oh, you going to church? And I'm like, what you mean I'm going to church? You're going to church today. And you know, you say to yourself, I'm grown, and I just got in. Well, we don't care. You going to church because you're going to have to help somebody, and you're going to have to help us and others. And at that time, I didn't understand it, and I didn't like it because it seemed like I was being picked on. And it's just like, why y'all is coming to get me to go to church? Y'all don't ask nobody else. And my Aunt Joseph said, because we're going to need you. You're going to have to help some of the ones that aren't there. You're going to help them along the way. And I never understood it until now. Until a few years ago, when I did have to step up and, when it was time for a funeral and the ones in our family had passed on, and you're in charge of arranging that funeral. You were in charge of speaking during that funeral. things that no one ever said, okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then afterwards, you know, you're smiling and you're making sure that everything is going right for the home goings. But then afterwards, you don't think to yourself, I'm going to have to deal with grief. No one ever prepares you for grief in the process of grief and losing your loved one. And then you got to go back to work and you go into the pretend mode and acting as if everything is okay when it's not. And I learned.
She's been clearing her throat because she has the.
You know, and I'm just going to interject on that when we're talking about the whole grief thing, and in my experience, what I learned is that we have become so conditioned to what we see. Listen, death and dying. What death is supposed to look like, because we watch television, we watch movies, and when you literally watch someone take their last breath,
my God,
you kind of find out, like, I need to have these people rewrite these movies and these TV shows, because all of that peaceful stuff, it is not any of that. And I think that when you experience grief, you're living like in a fairy tale world. You're pretending. You're unconsciously pretending. You don't really, you start to question, well, I lost my mom, and my mom died with me. My mother took her last breath with me. Her heart started beating in my hand, in my home. Then I'll talk to someone else who will be like, oh my God, you still live in your house? Your mother died at home with you? Absolutely. Yeah. And then you have other people who they've lost their parents, and it's been 3-4 years, and you can't even just mention it. And they are falling apart. They're still crying today. And I'm like, there is a certain level of, and I'm going to contribute to say, we're all human. You know, did I ugly cry, and do I ugly cry? I do it on a daily. However, there is something to be said about spiritual connection and relationship with God. At the end of the day, even if it it's kind of like having a bank account and you broke. So you put the money in there and you don't get a card so that you won't go there and go get it. It's like self-sabotage. It's like we don't actually address what's there.
No.
To the point where not addressing grief will literally kill you.
Yeah, it will.
It will literally kill you.
Grief has no limit. And sometimes you're like, okay, you've cried about this long enough. They're in a good place.
And people putting you can't put a time span. You know, people like, oh, why are you still, oh, your mother died 1.5 years ago. But it feels like it was 1.5 minutes ago.
Exactly.
And then there's some days where I feel guilty because not that I forget about her, but I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't think about my mother today. But that's a part of the healing, because unfortunately, when those things happen, life is still moving. Everybody, and we talk about the funeral and in this and in that. When the repast is all over,
nobody talks about
my phone stopped ringing. My phone don't ring no more. Nobody's calling, say, hey, how you doing? None of that is going on anymore. I don't get those phone calls. I don't, and thankfully I don't rely on those phone calls, because I have things, I have people I can pull from. I have people who are well connected. I have people who are prayer warriors. I have people who, when they speak, God listen. Not that he doesn't listen to all of us, but there's those loud folks that when they go to God, they be like, oh, that's Sherry talking. Everybody, all prayers on pause. Oh, that's LaWanda talk. Oh, Sherry, hold on. I know your prayer is there, but people, that's just how it is. So when you're going through that grief process, people have to stop Please stop telling people that you know how they feel.
No.
I know it's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But you don't know how I feel.
No.
Please stop telling people. Church folks, y'all listening? All of y'all. Stop telling people, oh, Lord ain't gonna put more on you than you can bear. Stop saying that.
Mhm.
Stop saying that. That's annoying, for one.
It
Don't
is.
say that to people, because you're now taking the word and you're totally applying it to where it is not supposed to be applied. Stop.
Sometimes I even make other people uncomfortable, and they don't know how to handle it. So therefore, they don't want you to still be grieving.
Okay, but just don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Like it's. Oh, I know, and I'm very mindful of what I say. Even if someone has lost a loved one, you know, you want to write some condolences. I keep it simple. I just keep it simple. My condolences, because you don't want to hear all that. Like, let's keep it 100. We don't want to hear all that. We just want you to just embrace us. Just embrace us.
Mhm.
And embrace doesn't stop at the wake. It doesn't stop at the it doesn't stop.
Mhm.
Just embrace. Do the check-in. You know what I mean? Yes, we are. And yet people say, well, there's some people, and these are believers also. Well, we all must go this way one day. We all, of course, we know we all gonna go. But I'll be the first to tell you, I ain't ready. Like, and not that I'm not. I don't. You know, I know we all have our time, and this too shall happen, and everything at its appointed time. I've been doing. Hold up. You know, just to give you a quick story, I can remember praying, and my biggest fear was that I would die and my son would be without me. And I remember I was like, Lord, please just allow me to stay here until my son has graduated high school, where I know that he's straight. Man, I turned my head. He was about to go to God. I said, wait, Lord, wait, I gotta update that. I said, I need to update that prayer. Lord, no, wait. Let me stay as long as till he gets out of college. Look around. I was like, wait, I got to update. Wait, I revised that. Lord, let me just live long enough to see my son get married. It's like, yes, Lord, it is thou again asking this to please hold thy life. You know what I'm saying? Please, just wait, hold on, wait. Then I'm like, Lord, let me stay alive long enough so I can see my grandchildren. So I'm always revising it. And I think what it is that we have become so accustomed to seeing everything in the now that we never even think about the fact that we can have like life. We just have to live life in expectation. Live it in expectation as if we are going to live forever.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we neglect or we just don't care and we're living recklessly, but we have to live in a sense where when we don't need people to we don't need people to judge us because we're like, I'm gonna live every day like it's my last, or people that say, oh, I'm living my best life. There's a reason why people live in their best life, because let me tell you, the real reality is that my mind should not be so overwhelmed that I'm thinking that I can lay down and what if I don't wake up tomorrow? That is a real thought. That's a real thought. Like, our hearts are not thinking about us. I'm not thinking about if I personally pass on. I'm thinking about the ones that love me, how that will affect them. And so that gives me value. So yes, I'm constantly like, Lord, leave me, let me do some work. I'm like, I ain't did nothing yet. So it can't be, because when he comes show up, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, I ain't ready. And he be like,
and that, you know what, that brings me back to when I was just talking about our roles and our family members getting us involved in service and whether church and things like that. I did not know down the line that what my mom and my aunt spoke would come to pass, because they're older now. And like I said, the other matriarchs in our family have moved on that we depended on for prayer and things like that, especially when death comes knocking at your door. And now you're the one who, has to step, put on your big girl shoes. And then you go with prayer and you go with your anointing oil. You go with your anointing oil, and you have to pray for people who are ill, and you have to pray for your family members and others who are taking their last breath. Or last year I had to hold my cousin Daryl's hand as the doctors let him know that he's not even they're not expecting him to make it tomorrow. And just to speak on their behalf. And it's just like when the roles of the others in our lives, get passed down to us. What are you going to do? Are you going to be prepared to help them transition? That in itself is something else, because you're there and you're it's just like you got to study and show yourself approved, and you got to put the word of God in effect, and you cannot be afraid. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be in the hospital with and you seeing them in the ICU, and then you got to go home and you got to make sure everybody else is okay. But then afterwards, when everything is over, you're a whole mess, and no one sees you, and no one, you're grieving and you're going through the grieving process, because you had to delay your grieving process because you had to make sure everything was okay. And when I was in Texas, one of the younger family members, who hasn't reached 40 yet, said, LaWanda, we look towards you and others in our family to help guide us through. You all are all we got now. You all are the matriarch. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have any children. But like they said, but you helped raise us. And it's not about having children or not. You helped raise us. So we look towards you to help lead the way, just like as a why me, and, I want to get the others involved, but just like they said, grandma, you were raised around grandma and aunties and the older generation, and they showed you the way. They showed you how to pray. They showed you how to, do things that we don't know how to do. And I and you think about those things and you just say, wow, but it's
right.
Also, it can be overwhelming, and
that's a good point.
It can be overwhelming. And the one thing I want everyone to know, especially, get some help, because I had to go sit in front of a therapist and I had to get help, because grief is up. Oh, Lord have mercy. Sometimes, you have your good days, but it's some days where you get up in that bed and you don't want to move. You just want to cry. But then you get to the point where you cry so much, and then you just say, I need a little bit of help. And it's nothing wrong with going and sitting in front of someone and expressing how you feel, because it's a difference. It helps you get back up on your feet and, just continue to live life. Because, those who have passed on don't want you back here, suffering or grieving over them forever, because, life doesn't, their life hasn't ended. Their beauty lives on, and we have to live on ourselves, because grief can take you out as well. You can grieve so hard for another person that next thing you hear that person has passed away. We have to make sure that we invest in self-care even through the grieving process, and get some help when necessary.
Absolutely.
That's
a
good point.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to a candid show about nothing. We've been all over the place talking about nothing and catching up because we haven't had these conversations in a long time. And as we come to a close, because we're about an hour in, let's talk about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm glad we're having fun.
Yes, we are. We are having fun. Talk about some good times.
Wait a minute. Can I just share something? Can we have just a moment of got to be more careful? Repeat
Yes.
after me. Got to be more careful.
Got to be more careful.
Got to be.
Okay, let me tell you why. I returned home recently from Columbus, Alabama. Columbus, Georgia, even though I do have family in Alabama. Columbus, Georgia, for my brother Reginald's wedding to his beautiful wife, Michelle. And it was absolutely wonderful. I went solo. I've been going solo on a lot of trips lately. That's, God has me on many journeys, and I'm so grateful. And it's a beautiful thing. But before the trip, do you know, some little weird way, I hurt the back of my Achilles, and this huge knot, just, oh my gosh, painful knot. So everything was in my way, as you know, and it's just like I had and I know that it was just, I just know it was just the adversary, but it was so many things that were in my way and saying, and just you hear her, I just heard in my ear and had to fight. You can't go. You can't go. Let me tell you, I pushed. I didn't care how much pain I was. I made sure that I went, and I'm thankful for Delta. They took care of me, especially in the Atlantic. I would not have been able to make it hopping around.
Is Delta sending you a sponsorship check?
I was about to say they're not sending me a sponsorship check, so we're not.
We're not about to big up Delta.
Nope, we're not going to talk about Delta.
I know we're not going to talk about that. Don't judge.
No.
Don't judge.
What was your favorite lunch?
Anyway, I get there and get a rental car, and everywhere I go, they upgrade me to Mustangs. I don't know what that is about that horse, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. But they upgrade me to Mustangs. Well, as I returned to Mustang to depart, it was 5:30 in the morning. So therefore, the rental car agency was not open. But I guess I didn't know at that time I can just drop off my key. So I got everything I needed out the front of the car, got into the rental car place, and I thought, oh, they have a drop box. I put my key in the drop box so fast, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Put it in the drop box. Guess where my luggage was at?
Where?
In the trunk. In the trunk. I said, oh my God. So I flagged down security, and I said, well, what time does the rental car place open? He's like, 8 o'clock, 8:30. I said, oh my God. I said, I'm like, my plane leaves at 6:30. Long story short, they were like, you're going to have to wait until the rental car agency opens in order to get your luggage, because we cannot put your luggage. The airline, the airport in Columbus, Georgia is so little, it's just a little airport, and they're not responsible for your luggage. So I had to wait there until 11:30. I got my luggage, but afterwards my plane left at 11:30. It taught me patience because I had to sit there, but through my sitting and my waiting, it taught me patience. And as I sat there, I just hear the Lord saying, you got to be more careful. And we all have to be more careful in life, because I'm used to traveling with others, and they take care of my bag. It's just like, you got the bag, okay, no problem. But it's like, in our journey and my next journey in life, we got to be more careful, because sometimes we're alone on these journeys, and we got to make sure we have everything that we need, so that we don't have to say, got to be more careful. And that's in everything and anything in life. But I want to share that with you. So make sure you have your bag.
I will have that. You mentioned that, and I know you want a more serious conversation, and we're going to do that. Shifting. Let's talk about high school. What was your favorite lunch at Weaver?
Ooh.
Oh, Lord. One more piece.
What?
Oh, at Weaver. Mine was, sometimes we had the sandwiches.
She looking for her own lunch.
You got your lunch not bad.
You looking for your lunch?
Y'all not funny at all.
Oh gosh.
We used to still hop in there and Sherry and take off running for the bus. Anyway, after the money for the sandwiches, sometimes they would be in some foil or whatever wrapped up in the
You need a little hot grinder.
Yeah, them hot grinders. And it could have been bologna, salami, and some other kind of meat. I don't.
But that cake
cheese,
thick, that big thick piece of cake for $1.25. Remember that?
What was it?
That cake. That big slice of cake.
Hunk of cake.
That cake was good.
Let me tell you, all those brownies downstairs. I don't know what room they made them in. Them hunk of brownies, if you can get them, and those little ices they had. I don't know where they were from. They were Minute Maid ices. They came in cherry, grape, or something, but they had them every now and again. In the pizza, you know.
No. It was the fish, man. It was the fish.
Yeah, the fish
sandwiches.
The fish sandwiches, but the pizza was good too.
The pizza had weird meat on it though.
I didn't get the meat. I got cheese.
I don't know. I got the cheese. You got the meat. Me and Sherry got the cheese. And the ice cold 1% milk.
Yeah, I got that 1% milk.
Man,
but you know that milk was good then, though, the chocolate milk. But I always got the juice though.
Yeah.
You get the juice in the chocolate milk. Favorite teacher at Weaver High School?
Oh man, who's my favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher was Mr. Oh gosh, what is his name? Oh gosh, I forgot his name.
He wasn't your favorite if you can't remember.
It was my favorite.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm a
My keyboard teacher was my favorite. Mr. Miller was his name. Mr. Miller.
Which one was Mr. Miller?
The social study teacher, Weaver. Mr. Miller.
Mr. Miller, the music teacher. She was
crazy.
If you weren't available, Miss Martin wasn't playing. She would come to your house and knock on the window.
Remember I got me in trouble, and Tyra was involved too. Remember I got me in trouble in history class.
Man, the good
you had to learn that poem. Remember?
Oh no, Sherry. Wait a minute. Sherry and I and Tracy couldn't graduate unless we remember our math class, calculated math, Sherry. We did not do a homework assignment for the whole entire year, and we sat next to the teacher.
Yes,
the organist for the Whalers, and we sat next to him right up front. And Sherry ranked us from the time we sat down and we just laughed. And at the end of the school year, I never forget, he said to us, and I dream about this sometimes. He said to us, "You're going to have to pass in every homework assignment. Not only that, you're going to have to score a 100 on the exam in order to graduate."
Yeah.
And we were going to cheat, y'all. We were going to cheat.
No, I wasn't going to cheat. We had it because then we were right in front of them.
No, we weren't going to cheat. We were going to rely on Faith. Remember that girl named Faith? We were going to cheat, but he had something for us. We were like, okay, well, we'll just do our homework and we'll get the calculating math, the calculators from class. He said, no. No, see, you didn't do any work in class, so you're not going to take the calculating machines home to do the work that's missing. So we had to go on Pratt Street and buy a calculating machine. And let me tell you, and I'm telling you, and we had to get an A on every.
Well, I must have got favor because I didn't have to go anywhere and buy a calculator.
I was working on your behalf back then.
I was in his class. So, I was in the class.
But long story short, we passed that class with flying colors. But you know what? It taught me in life. It taught me a whole long lesson. Don't you ever do that again in your life. Don't you ever do that again in your life. Because it could have went the other way fast. Because it,
I ain't learned.
We were praying teenagers then. But even the Lord put his hands on his hip and said, y'all gonna get yourself out of that. Because I done told y'all myself and gave y'all tons of warning to do your homework. And Lord have mercy. But it's amazing how we didn't want to do our homework in high school, but in college I couldn't wait to do it.
I'm a better college
student. And I miss school right now. I miss
I loved it.
You could have been Madam cum laude.
Math in high school.
I was cum laude. I got sick
I got an A in math. I got an A in algebra and some other. I'm like, okay. I said I told myself, and I couldn't do this, and my professor was like, you did really, really well. I'm like, wow. And it makes you look back at that little girl, and you just go, But let me tell you something, Sherry. We haven't evolved. We have evolved beyond. I only
did enough to graduate. They shouldn't have never. I was one of the smart kids. You should have never told me that I could graduate with a D. Listen,
crazy.
You should have never told me that. You should have never told me that. I got my transcript. I said, what in the world is this? I did just enough to get by.
And that's what a lot of
let me ask you this. What was the class that y'all dreaded the most? And I'm gonna tell y'all what mine was.
I dreaded my math class.
I dreaded science because remember we had to dissect that frog and that
yes,
and it went on my lip. Oh my gosh, I hated it.
Listen, I dreaded gym when I had to go to swimming because they wouldn't I failed because they ain't let me wear my t-shirt in the pool.
Yeah, you had to be fully dressed.
That was nasty. Mm-hmm. That was I ain't like that. I'm like, I'm wearing my t-shirt. I was making up all types of.
What about when you didn't want to take
disabilities that I had to cover up?
What about when you didn't want to take gym and you acted as if you forgot your sneakers and they wanted you to wear somebody else's sneakers in the bed?
We got a whole room in it. Go find one that fit.
I hated them showers.
Oh,
you had to take showers and they had to they look in. I'm like, what are you looking at us for?
And you know what? In high school now, they don't have to take showers.
No, they don't.
They go getting sweaty to getting dressed again and just making it work.
They got it first period.
Yeah. It's like the world we're living in now. It's like, okay, we were living in that world too. So some weird people then. So
it's going funky.
Change. Yeah, I have a picture that some little birdie sent me. I dread this picture.
What is it?
I don't even know what a picture is now. What is this picture?
Lord.
Remember that?
We did protect the innocent, right?
We did.
But you know what's so funny? My date still talks about that situation now. Even his brother, I end up working at Rawson because he's the head over there, the head custodian, and he busts out laughing. He's like, "Remember the dress?"
and I was pregnant,
and so that his brother,
I was pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant at my prom.
Now, Sherry, do you want to share about the dress?
Yes. So the dress wasn't fitting right. Remember? And my mother went to stitch it in while I was dressed, while I had the dress on.
Okay, hold on for a minute. Sherry's gonna tell it, but then I'm gonna really tell it. Go ahead, baby.
And so I had the dress on, and my mother sewed it to keep it from coming down the zipper part. And so when we got to the prom, we all wanted to change into different clothes, and I was the only one still in my dress.
Right.
And I rigged it in such a way I couldn't get out my dress, and y'all had went on and just doing your own thing, and y'all was not worried about me.
Okay, can I tell it?
Yeah.
Sherry mother sold her drawers to her. Yes, she did. She sold her drawers, not her underwear, not her panties. She sold her drawers to the bottom of she had on tights, I think. She even sewed them and intertwined them heavenly. We couldn't break down at the back of we zipped it down.
my goodness.
No boy was getting at her. We couldn't even get at her. We couldn't even snatch down her dress and pull it to the side like this to see her shoulder. Her mother had her pinned up so good.
Crazy. I'm the only one to dress everybody in like the shorts and sweatpants, whatever. I'm still in a dusty rose. It was a dusty rose colored dress. I remember that dress.
Mm-hmm. And her nickname is Sherry, so we all call. So everyone who knows her as Minister Cherie, we know her name is Cherie. But her nickname for us is Sherry. And let me tell you, her mother was no joke. She was not playing. No little boy was getting that night. I said, hold your drawers to your stocking. I said, even to the back of your dress. How you gonna pee?
It was rigged. It was a rigged mess. Even when I got home, it was hard to get off.
How did you? When we went to the bathroom, how did you handle your business? How did you pee?
Yeah, it was able to come down. It was just still caught.
Oh no, you snatched it to the side. I know what you did.
I can't take y'all.
It wasn't easy, Sherry. It wasn't. Your mother was not playing because hey, we understand now. We understand now, and we had I wish it was a movie. We had a wonderful time in high school. We had favorite security guard,
Mr. X.
Chuck.
But they were two of a kind. They were together. But you remember, what's so crazy?
Mr. Armstrong.
Mr. Armstrong, not Mr. X. Mr. Armstrong was my neighbor.
Was like this
when I moved on my own. Because I lived in a 3-family home, so I lived upstairs and he lived downstairs. And the landlord lived in the middle, and he would come in my apartment when I wasn't home. So I rigged it in such a way I'll know that he was in there, because the tone, the smell of your home.
Exactly.
And I realized Mr. Armstrong lived downstairs. He said he's only doing that because you live alone.
Oh my God.
And he told me exactly what to do, and I did it. Yeah. And I was able to get out of my lease. That man was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Chuck was mine. Oh my goodness. Chuck didn't play with us. He didn't play. Get your butt in class. And everybody needs a Chuck in their school. I'm telling you, get your butt to class with all that, looking like you didn't ate a pork chop. Look at all that grease on your lip. Like it's
the chunkiest thing ever.
But he was
the chunkiest thing. I mean, he was one of us, because now in hindsight, he wasn't that much older than us.
That's true.
He wasn't that much older than us.
That's probably why he always get away with so much.
We became seniors and we wanted to go get a pizza from Mr. Pizza up on top of Blue Hills, and we would be like, Chuck, we're going to get a pizza. He's like, y'all going to get a pizza? Like, yeah. Okay, what kind of pizza y'all gonna get? We're gonna get a cheese pizza. No, you're not. You're gonna get a cheese pizza with hamburger. He would order everything. He ordered pizza. By the time we get the pizza and grind and come back, Chuck then took the pizza and wrote us up. So I need to be a car. I'm like, oh man, you didn't do that for the other people, but it's just like some he didn't play with. It was like, well, you can't skip class and think you can do what you want to do just because you're a senior. But I love me some Chuck.
Yeah.
Those days. School is definitely changed.
Since we were
kids ain't the same. They don't know how to have fun.
No.
They have fun in school.
We enjoyed our school years.
It's like it used to be a time where we knew how to go out, like to go outside and play. You knew how to do that, but this generations, they don't know how to go outside and play. The first question is, play with what and who? They have play dates, but now children, their playground is school. Is in school. When I worked in the high school, I worked in the main office. It's like the kids, they can't wait to get to school and run and play. And you hear, they're running. You just hear their footsteps running, and they're playing, and just having fun, doing things that they should be doing outdoors. But they take the time and do it now in school. And I feel sorry for the officers there who are trying to control that environment, but that's how it is today. That's how it is. There's no going outside and playing and just, just getting some good fresh air. No.
Do y'all remember Senior Skip Day?
Lord have mercy.
was crazy.
We didn't do too much of nothing. We went to Mount Sinai Hospital.
No. Well, maybe that wasn't senior school because
you mean the picnic?
Remember we went to, and remember we went to somebody else's cookout and we knew they wouldn't know who we were because it was
we needed to have that televised.
there were so many people there, they wouldn't know who we were with anyway.
That could have been a show, right? I mean, we showing up at somebody else that we were so bold.
Imagine if we had the cell phones that we have now in the it would have been
somehow Mr. Davis found out. Somehow he found out. I think one of the kids snitched.
Oh man.
Yes, they did.
One of those honor roll students.
Probably. Can we talk about being out on that bleacher taking that picture?
What picture?
The class picture.
Oh yes, that class picture. Oh gosh.
And not for nothing, to date, the class of 88 was the largest graduating
class.
Still to this day. Still to this day.
You know the lesson of it is only a handful that passed away. Remember our 30th class reunion? It was wonderful, but we had it was like 4 or 5 at that time on the table, and we had a memorial for them. But let's not talk about that. But yeah, we were the largest class, and we had a fun class, and we're still connected today.
Yeah, we did fun class. Oh my God,
everybody is doing well.
Some pretty successful people that came out of that class.
Yeah, and they said nothing good would come out of we.
We was the goodest.
Oh,
yeah, we were. It's unrecognizable now. It's like you don't even realize.
You know, and the radio station is on the main floor.
Is it?
The radio station is on the main floor.
Wow.
QTQFM. Who is
well, hey, who remembers the song that the radio station used to close out on? WQTQ. Cherie may not know this song.
I don't know.
We know you was sneaking listening to the Quiet Storm.
Me?
I was not.
Y'all used to get on me because I used to watch.
You're gonna sing this song out to bleep. From your
Remember we won WCIC and New Edition came to sing at our school.
When we won the contest, the WQTQ.
What was that guy named? Oh gosh. He used to have an afro. I could see his face, and he came up to the school, and nobody knew who he was, and he got
the one from Coming to America.
No, not him. No, not Eric LaSalle. He's a singer. Oh gosh,
he had an afro.
He had that straight afro. Oh gosh, what was his name?
Who that, Luana?
I don't know. I remember Shirley Caesar came to our music class.
His name, but he was he was on the 3rd floor. He was walking around, and nobody knew who he was.
I don't know who that was.
I'm
probably skipping classes on.
You probably were.
I probably.
But I can't remember.
Work study. Oh my gosh.
Work study was great. We got to leave it.
Where did you work?
I worked for DOT.
Y'all did. Yeah. Y'all was at DOT, and I was at
No, department. No. Wasn't the department?
I was at Aetna.
It was on Weathersfield, but it
Was
was
DOT. Department of Transportation.
That's where you was working at too, Luana.
Yeah.
So we would leave work. No, we leave school about 10:30 because we didn't work. Yeah.
After lunch wave.
Yeah.
Those are good days. They gave us some good jobs.
Yeah, they really did.
Listen, I know somebody that's still working that's in our class that still works for the Travelers.
Wow.
So we had
we were the last class in the Most Best program at Travelers.
Yeah, at Travelers. Was you and me and Most Best together too?
Yeah.
I remember the sister, the West Indian sister and brother.
Yeah.
I ran into them. Brought the boy and the dark skinned sister.
Mhm.
I ran into them.
Oh,
And there's
nice.
one lady, she was older. She was the one that trained us though. She just retired. I
And
can't
we
remember.
was learning. Remember we learned what was it called Multimate. What was that thing called?
The software,
Floppy disk.
Oh
all
my,
that.
The big
Yep.
computer.
Lotus
wait a
and
minute, wait a minute, wait
all
a
of
minute,
that stuff.
wait a minute. How many of you bought my fake bus passes?
Who? Oh wow.
Mama made the best fake bus passes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Lord,
I was scared to use it.
it didn't matter. Sherry was scared to use it. It didn't matter what color the bus pass was. Oh my goodness. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Well, tell about your fake emissions thing.
Who?
That was another Luana at a different time.
Oh,
I
God.
know who that is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-mm.
I don't know that Luana doesn't exist anymore. When I think I was about 25 years old when Sherry didn't have. Oh my gosh.
It was so good. So tell about you guys stop.
Who?
It was in West Hartford. Me and my cousin.
Oh, West
Hi,
Hartford.
Denise, love you, girl. Hi, Nancy. And we went to pick up a cake. And let me tell you, this was a long time ago. The Lord has delivered me from a lot of things. And I made admission. I made an admission thingy, and we taped it with some really good tape on the window. And long story short, we got stopped because of something. I don't know. And when the cops were like looking around the car with the flashlight and, just talking to us, and this cop stopped and he did like that. He said, "Oh, that's good." He said, "Oh," he told the other cop, "Come here, come here, come here." He's like, "What?" He said, "Check this out. You see anything wrong in this window?" And at the time, he used to be in the window. And I took the flashlight. He said, "No, nothing's wrong." He said, "Do it again." I said, "Nothing's wrong. I don't understand." He said, "Do it one more time." He said, "Oh, that's good." He said, "Oh, yeah, good." Well, but that was a long
ticket just because they let her go.
Wow.
Well, you know what? They let us know.
Creative.
They told us, don't ever do that again. And they led the way home and they followed us because we went to get a birthday cake. But yeah, I learned my lesson. We don't do anything like that anymore. Back to you, Sherry.
That was a good girl. Good, clean girl. Yeah, but we had some really good times, fun times.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Remember that time Rosa Parks fell asleep during our assembly?
Oh, God. In our assemblies at Weaver High School, Lord, that you know what? I wish they would have filmed our assemblies. It was so chaotic. Oh,
It
my
was.
goodness.
It was.
And we had the coolest, laid back principal with those sleepy eyes.
Yeah.
And he would just come to the podium and we would be popping gum. And every time he would just say, "Quiet down, please." And everyone would start sucking their teeth. And you heard, we were a mess. I wish it was filmed because people wouldn't believe it. But Weaver got, such a bad rep. But we were just like this, to me, like fame, the school fame on television. We had so much.
We came together. We had great assemblies, talented individuals. Yes,
absolutely.
Talent. We had great.
Yeah. But a couple of the class.
Great, like oh my God, we had some of the smartest people, and just different races, and we all just gelled together, and we had the best. Weaver was nothing to mess with, but we were a school of talents, and just wit. We had the arts, and that's why a lot of us are doing well and can lead others because a lot of us graduate, were just leaders when we graduated. So it was just like, let's go world. I mean, we had our little ups and downs, and we had things that we had to overcome, but we're all leaders in our own right, thanks to how we applied ourselves at Weaver High School and the teachers there who did not take our junk because, they were joke, and some of them you cussed at them, they right back out.
They really deposited into us. And a couple of them, even in class of 89, went on to be actors and, they're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some good did come out of it.
Yeah.
So as we come to a close, what would you tell your high school self today?
Don't be doing enough just to get by.
Mm.
For real. Apply yourself, apply yourself, apply yourself. That's what I would have, because I was certainly capable of doing it, but I had that manipulating spirit. And I knew that I knew what I could just do what I needed to do just to get by. And then I didn't really have to worry about it. I'm like, hey, and I knew how to work around the system. And sometimes that mentality, it can go on into your adult life. So I would probably say, anything that comes too easy is not worth having.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not accepting the word no.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we can hear the word no, and especially at a young age, and we think that's the end all. They said no. There's always another way. If that's the right path, or if that's best for you. But sometimes we hear the word no and just, like I said, and especially when you're a teenager, you're like, well, they said no. Well, you're already at no. Find another way. And you don't stop until you find another way to reach your goal. Any goal that you set for yourself. Don't let the word no stop you, especially if you feel it in your heart. And I had to learn that throughout my years. It's like, well, I have to try it anyway. But sometimes in life, especially when you're young and you hear the word no, well, that's not for you. That and it's just like, well, well, that's not for you. And how dare that other person say what is and what's not for you? I think you should do this, or I think you should do that. And you try those other things, but it's just like sometimes people have you at no. And if I can say to my younger self, like, you're going to get past that no thing, and you go forth. And I did, and I overcame the no's in my life and made them my yes.
Wow. Made the no's your yes. I like that.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, I must say, because God, if God wasn't leading me, if I didn't put God first, the no's would have been no.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. I'm glad. Well, ladies, it's been really nice chatting.
Thank you. I just want to thank you, Sherry. You're amazing. I love you. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
My sister, Yvette, and the two of you, you're mentors. I love you, Yvette. Oh my God. Like I said, I met her in first grade. Yvette Mathis. In our reading group, she used to go and ring. We had a reading group, and we would go behind the curtain and whatever. And if we need the teacher, we had to ring the bell. And Yvette would walk me up there and ring the bell and go back and sit down.
Wow, that's cute.
Don't ring the bell. But first grade at Weaver High. First grade at Vine Street School. Second grade until sixth grade, Annie Fisher School. What's up, Annie Fisher? Our
Tiger.
We went from Fox together in Weaver High School, and just to be able to meet Sherry and Tracy, all of our classmates.
Tracy, we were funny.
We were something else. We had so much fun singing, dancing, loving, learning, and just being great teenagers. I'll never forget it.
That's true.
It just lasts us a lifetime. I love to see Sherry and this just platform of this, and seeing her glow up and grow up and glow up, and Yvette the same. You still mentor. You're just still that, just bottled up information, and I can always call you, or I can reach out to the both of you if I need anything. It's if I want to know things. I just love the two of you. Continue on, and as we continue on our journey, I know more things are coming down the line. I'm grateful for the invitations God has allowed me to accept and are coming my way, and I know that are coming your way as well. And I hope that we all can do this again. I love you all so much, and I love you all who are watching. I hope that this really, helps somebody.
Yeah. And Sherry, before we go, she mentioned glow up, and all of the, all the little tips. Like we there's like, we have these cycles where I'm just giving like all this, like, well, you should do this, and then maybe you shouldn't do that. You should do this. But, just to see the shell that you have come out of. And, you talk about taking a leap of faith. And I know that we want what we want now, and patience is so important. But just seeing, like, just looking at you now, just your body language, you're just like, you're in your element right now. And I am definitely anticipating. So I'm not going to say hoping, I'm not going to be saying praying. I cannot wait to see the next level of what is going to come for you.
Yeah. And great health and great wealth to all out there. Great health and great wealth. Take care of yourself. Don't let the problems of this world get you down and take over. Remember, if there's a person in your life, or, or in this world, and when you see them, if you get an attitude, or if they bring to disgust, to your body and your whole being, remember that you're giving that person control. Remember that you're giving that person control over your life, and that person might not even know who you are. It's just like what they say, swallowing poison and expecting that person to feel it. Find a better way to help express yourself and release your anger. Don't bottle it in, and don't give other people power over you. Like I said, those people that disgust you, you're giving them power. If you see that person and they can, and you frown your face up and you get an attitude when you see them, you're giving that person that power. Stop giving away your power.
In the translating Ebonics, haters kick rocks.
My favorite word, kick rocks. Yeah, that is so true. It's amazing how I was the chrysalis that has now turned into a butterfly. And that's probably why I love butterflies so much. When you always feel like that little ugly duckling, and you hide behind that shell, but y'all just kept pushing me forward. And, and as an introvert and as shy as I am, I'm doing it because of him. That's why it's called.
And at the same time, while you say that, everything that we do, it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone. And I am very excited about you taking that leap of faith from behind the camera to being in front of the camera.
Right. So
a public platform. Like, this is practice.
Yeah.
I keep hearing
this is practice. So there is no fear. Fear does not exist. You have everything that you need to take this to another level.
Yes.
So if anybody's watching, if you just kind of scrolling through YouTube and you hear it, then the message is for you too.
Yeah.
So this is just practice.
And please know that we are all overcomers. We are all overcomers. That we are all battle tested.
Yeah.
Battle tested. Yes, we are. And nothing in life is easy that's worth it. And we're all worth it. And if we can help anybody, we can. We will find that somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody about it. So please understand that you can reach out to us. And also, and last but not least, women's health, men's health. Listen, find out. Doctors just, especially women with the issue of blood. Hopefully we can all get back together and talk about this. I think that it's something we need to put that on the platform, because more people need help. More women need help.
We actually next month
as well. So hopefully we can, talk and maybe go down, as we go forward, we can get together again and talk about women's health. Those with the issue of blood, put that in your spirit. I know you have questions. I know you have daughters and husbands and spouses and fiancés or whatever who want to know, how can I help my wife? How can I help my daughter? How can I help the women in our lives? What I can do? What can I do? What information do I know? Just remember that they are all are alternatives.
We are going to be talking about minority health next month, actually, and we have a young lady on who's going to talk about menopause. And that's something that we do need to know, that we're not crazy out here. This thing, there's a such thing.
Menopause will have the men on pause. Let me just tell you.
Remember that song, "The Men on Pause"? Yeah.
And they all sing the same old tune.
Yeah.
I was supposed to say, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Check this out.
I'm planning
Ball.
I'm planning a live show. I would love for you guys to come down for that live show, be a part of the live audience. It's prophesied several times, through prophecy, that my desire to do have a real studio. It's going to come to pass.
Wonder where that started at. Wonder where that started at. You know, sometimes I live vicariously through other people. So while I'm like giving out information or sharing or encouraging, I'm also encouraging myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, night, everybody.
Love you all.
Everyone, join us. Don't go anywhere, lady.
So much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I didn't know I needed this until you guys were like, "We want to be on."
Yeah, just have some.
It was good.
And everything doesn't have to always be scripted, and
no,
it's just natural, natural.
Yeah.
And if you could take a tidbit of what we've used, and if it can help you, we've done our job. We served our purpose.
If we made you laugh, it served its purpose.
Yeah.
Or if you just haven't seen us in a long time ago, there they are.
I wonder what happened to them. We right here.
There they go.
God is good.
There they go. But wait a minute, the curls though, y'all. The curls, the cherry curls.
Listen, I have jerky. Luana are divariscus.
I know she all looking like in Vogue.
Look at my baby's breath.
I found out how much it cost. He said, "You working, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I ain't paying for no $300 dress you gonna wear one time."
Yeah.
Jerry had the best Jerry curl. Yvette had the best Jerry curl. Let me tell you. Oh, let me tell you.
We had good times, guys.
We did.
Yeah. Remember, you guys, it's okay not to be okay, just as long as we don't stay in that place. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. Same topic, same place, same time. We listen and we don't judge. And it's going to be another candid conversation. We're going to talk about the word. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about personal things. We're just going to have some fun next week. And then as we come to a close, we're going to have someone talk about singles. So we're going to talk about singles edition, the raw truth.
No more for me.
Holla. You know what, guys? One of y'all should. Why don't y'all close us out in a song? Y'all were the songbirds. Come on, sing something.
Ooh, is that
What?
What?
I've been thinking it's been so long since we sang together.
I know.
Sing something real quick. Little something.
When the harmonized Mary had a little lamb.
No.
Whatever. Go ahead. Whatever.
You harmonized Mary had a little lamb.
Go ahead.
Mary had a little lamb.
Luana be over there sipping on her coffee while singing.
Go ahead.
What can we do, Luana?
I don't know.
I can't think.
Nope, I can't. Let's see.
You caught us off guard with that question.
Yeah, you really did. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Thank you.
I don't know that song.
Lord have mercy.
I gotta sing something.
I do, but I don't. Okay, let me think.
Just encourage yourself. Just Sherry, anything?
Well, I don't know what y'all know. She just said she don't know that song. Everybody know that song.
I haven't sang in a while.
I know it's been a while, man.
See, what's on your heart?
Hmm?
What's on your heart?
What did we see at the Ukrainian that talent show that time?
Shalimar, really?
Which one was it?
It was You Can Count on Me.
How did that go?
Okay, she's having a senior moment, Sherry, and I'm not gonna, keep
I'm
everybody.
really having a senior moment.
What happened?
I'm having a senior citizen moment for real.
Huh?
Because I'm having a senior citizen moment. I can't
Well,
think of
we are
anything.
in our middle 50s. What do you think? All right, so I don't want to sing, folks.
We'll do that. We're having to prepare for the next
We
episode.
will prepare next time.
Not
Yeah.
coming back. You can't sing a song. We don't want you.
You're mean.
Oh gosh, sing Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace. Everybody seen Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace.
But you don't know no other words.
Amazing Grace.
Um,
I can't think of anything. No, not Amazing Grace though. Luana, why I can't think of anything?
I don't know.
I can't.
I've learned my lesson in the past that if you ain't ready, don't you do it. It's that song wrong. She said Amazing.
I need Tyra on here.
No, you don't. Oh yes, okay. Yeah, possibly.
Hallelujah. So you're not gonna sing. Scratch them off. Coming back next time. Thanks.
Sure.
No sir. Talking to my producer. Talking to
Put us on the spot.
I can't think of nothing. That's crazy.
my.
I'm gonna get off the phone and be singing all types of stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything. Next time.
Faith.
Definitely next time.
Faith.
Faith. What? Faith Evans?
No, sing this song. Faith.
What is that?
Faith to believe the impossible. Faith.
No, listen. I'm still a baby Christian. I don't even know what songs.
No, she just gets the words messed up.
Yeah.
Father is not pleased.
Said a father. Let me think.
Be ready.
Be ready.
Be
Because
ready.
be 8 right now.
No, I just returned from traveling, and then my voice is not ready for that. But no, I'm so sorry. Maybe next time. I'll be done next time.
Is that how you do it?
Hmm?
She did it. She was like, maybe next time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, next time, definitely next time we'll have some music queued up and everything.
There won't be no next time.
Shut up.
Yeah, thank you guys. I needed this tonight.
Yeah.
I just
Nothing. Everybody's watching. I needed it tonight.
Just make sure we come down to the Chesapeake area that the weather is right. No rain.
It was 71 today. It was 71.
wow. Even if it is rain, I don't care. You know I'll be there, Sherry. You know I will be there.
Yeah.
It's a bridge thing, honey. It's a bridge thing.
Huh?
It's a bridge thing.
It's
But
a
a bridge thing.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it cannot be raining and windy.
Child, did I tell you I went over that bridge and it was foggy and couldn't see the rails? I'm so glad I wasn't driving. I would have stopped in the middle.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what you're talking about, but that was
Chesapeake Bridge.
I can't stand that bridge. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, I don't like it.
But it has been absolutely real, and all the best to you all, and we'll chat on the back end.
We will.
This has been His Will for Your Life with our host Sherry Levon Harris and our special guest Luana Graham and me, Yvette. Be sure to tune in, like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
I love you all. Thank you again, Minister Cherie.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Love you
guys.
back.
Later.
Later.
Good night, everyone. See
Good
you
night.
Please join us again next week for another riveting, informative segment of His Will for Your Life podcast with Sherry and our special guest,